Sound is still cutting in and out. All right.
All right, let's just keep rolling. We're working on the audio in the background. If you guys would stick with us, we will get it fixed here shortly. So let's just keep rolling.
All right.
I do want to give you all a special shout out because I've been talking to a lot of our borrowers and we've gotten tons of good feedback from all the content you all are doing every weekend. People are sad we can get together for Buyers Club, but they are loving this. Everyone I meet with has given really good feedback. So thank you all for doing this.
Awesome. I think we just checked on it and you said it sounds a little better with the new microphone. So I guess give us a thumbs up or a like and let us know if the audio is better and we're gonna keep rolling.
All right. You know, I bought a house like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Actually, we haven't closed on it yet. And when I went to look at the house, it was brought to me by one of my connectors. Actually, shout out to Ben Tubman with Plaza Lanes. He owns a bowling alley, and he's a great connector for me. He brings a lot of deals for me. And so he had this friend of his that bowled at his bowling alley, and she actually works for bowling also full time. But she bought a house for her daughter like 6 years ago, and her daughter and her husband are getting divorced, and the daughter's actually moved out of the house, and the lady bought it for her daughter and her son-in-law, and the son-in-law's still in the house. She wants to sell it. The house needs some work. And I was walking through the house, and she was showing me the house, but this dude was yelling at me. He was cursing at me.
Like raising his voice and pointing his finger?
Yeah, like, you're not gonna buy this effing house, and, you know.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had that happen before?
Yeah, to a certain degree. Sam definitely has. He's probably been in more houses than I have. But yeah, that house has a funny story because you didn't get pictures either. So.
I didn't feel like I could.
Why did you pull out anything like wrestling moves from college?
I could have, I don't know.
You were by far the best person for that to happen to, though.
Why do you say that?
Because I just think you do a very good job of staying calm in those situations. If someone's cursing me like that to my face, outside of my element, I probably wouldn't say as calm as you. Maybe I would.
I think you would. I think you would handle it very well. But the kind of the bummer about it is I just found out yesterday that we got the house under contract. We're supposed to close in like 2 weeks. Found out yesterday that we got to get a signature from this dude because she put her kids on the dang deed. And even since she was married, they were married during the time that they owned the house. This dude that is the son-in-law has to sign a quitclaim or come to closing. So
Wow.
you think, Sam, you think you can get him in here?
Let's do it. If you guys have ever been in a house and got yelled at, put it in the comments if you've had that fun experience. If you haven't, you eventually will if you stay in the game long enough. So
Absolutely. All right, so fill up that chat box. Let us know if the sound is good, where you're from, questions for Suzanne or Sam or Lucas or any of us. How's business been this week? How are leads?
leads are down a little bit. We got a week. I think we got about 10 leads this week. So leads were down a little bit, but like we said, our buys have still been there. So
Buying from connectors, real estate agents,
connectors,
wholesalers.
and leads, usually you get the lead and usually you don't buy it the next day. Sometimes there's some follow up and then you go out, they get quotes, you go back and forth. So we still have a marketing by Strickland in there as well. But yeah, leads were down a little bit this week, but anticipate to be up here with all this opening up that everyone's talking about. So
Yeah, it is good that things are opening up. Lucas, how have sales been this week?
Sales good. Sold 3 this week, so not as many as we bought, but that's kind of typical this time of year. That those sales start to catch up to the buys as you move throughout the year here. But sales have been great on the retail side. Been great too. I know our retail brokerage Magnolia is going to have an awesome month this year, about $5 million or something in gross. I think Matt said. So yeah, they're still moving. Buyers are still out there.
Are you seeing more movement from the retail side or the wholesale side, or any feedback there?
I think initially the retail side was the one that stayed really strong and was kind of surprising to everyone. And then the wholesale buyers kind of fell off for a little bit, but I feel like the confidence is starting to grow in the wholesale buyers and investor buyers because they can start to see what type of good deals are out there.
Yeah. How's the rental business been? It's the last day of April. May's rent is due tomorrow. It seemed like for most people I talked to, April turned out to be pretty good for rent collection, at least not as bad as some people feared, maybe is the way to say it. How you feel about May?
So yeah, so we're at 95% for this month, so not as good as some people, but not as bad as it could have been, and we're gonna go make a deposit today. So we should be a little higher. May will be a little more challenging, but we're just taking the same steps that we took in April to make sure we're communicating and providing all the resources to our tenants.
And I believe that hopefully all your tenants are paying good and you're communicating well, but I believe the courthouses are still shut down, so no evictions yet. You just got to work with your tenants as best you can, give them resources, and hopefully it all works out.
Yep.
Hopefully the courts open up again here in May. I think they will.
I think they will too. We'll see. We'll get them opened up.
As long as you're in Missouri and not Illinois.
Yeah. They live in Illinois, so they're a little bit different over there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, cool. So Jen said, I have never been yelled at, but I have had, where'd it go?
That's fine.
I have had the owners make incredible racist comments and expect me to agree. Oh yeah, I've had that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very uncomfortable. I know you just,
Brush it off and keep going.
yeah, exactly.
It almost feels like that happens to me very frequently, way more frequently than you feel like it should. It's kind of pretty shocking.
Is that from sellers usually, or where's it
Oh
usually
yeah,
coming from?
always sellers.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of sellers when you walk through the house. I feel like it's probably for me like 1 out of every probably 8 to 10 owner occupied houses I go to. People just say
Inappropriate.
pretty inappropriate things, especially as a female in the industry. It's a little like, whew, okay, just try to be nice and polite and as polite as you can be and keep moving.
Yeah, I agree. And another good comment from Jen on there, we were talking a little bit about the retail business and Magnolia earlier, how things are pretty strong. And she's saying a lot of her buyers are having trouble finding things. There's definitely still
Super tight.
still not much of supply out there. There's still more demand than supply for sure, especially in under $300,000 price range. But that is a great comment, Jen.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jen. Hey, Rachel, can you scroll that little questions little banner thing? That was kind of cool. I liked when you were doing that last week. So we always do a shout out to a trusted vendor every week. So this week we're going to do a shout out to Floor & Decor. I love Floor & Decor. They got 2 stores in the St. Louis area, one in like Bridgeton, one down in South County. It's just like a huge warehouse with all like floor and decor, but primarily like hard surface flooring for the most part. But then they have other things too. But gosh, they got the biggest selection I've ever seen of hardwood floors and tile and
Backsplashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great to deal with. I actually use them for my in-laws when they moved into their most recent house. We used them for a lot of materials. It was super easy. Ordered it online, paid for online. The contractor went and picked it up. So they're great to work with them. But huge selection, like you said. You can go into some other places and look online and try to see exactly if this tile will match your wall. But you can go on the Floor & Decor and it's all there. You can actually see it physically rather than just on a computer. So all their stuff they have online is there in the store. You can get it. So it's pretty awesome.
If you go by the Bridgeton store, ask for Chad, say you heard about him on the Faster House, or Faster Freedom live stream. Chad's a good guy. He'll take care of you. We got a special guest in the what do you call it? The bird's nest today?
Live in the bird's nest.
Suzanne Luther, she runs, partner in our hard money lending business, runs the business. So we wanted to ask you some questions, but while we're asking Suzanne questions, make sure you guys throw questions in the chat box for her or Sam or Lucas or anybody. So Suzanne, what's the ideal client for your lending business?
That is a great question. Our ideal client is someone who is in the local area, so someone who's in the St. Louis area, who is interested in real estate investing or has been investing in real estate for years, is looking for basically a money partner. So they know what they're doing. They have really strong cash reserves, especially at a time like right now where like the market's still staying good. There's still some unknowns. So cash reserves are super important to us. And people who just have a lot of grit and are going to just keep pushing forward and want to do, multiple deals with our people. We really invest in all of our borrowers, and we want someone who's just going to keep doing business with us over and over again and are really excited about real estate investing and all the opportunities. So they could be anyone from a rehabber, a landlord, or even a wholesaler who needs to close on a deal before they can really shop it to people due to a variety of issues.
Nice. Give a quick shout out. We got Paul Rogers from Sacramento, California.
What's up, Paul?
What's going on,
It's a
Paul?
picture of Paul there, man. I like that. This
Good
is pretty
looking,
cool.
good looking Paul.
George, you've got a great question there, and I think it goes really well for you, Suzanne. So because you do a lot of loans on the front end for people doing the burn method.
Yes.
And George's question is, when doing refinancing to pay off the hard money loans, are banks still doing these kind of loans? Has the banks tightened up their requirements?
Yeah, so about half of our loan portfolio right now are made up of people who are doing the burn method. So someone is buying a house at a discount, they're putting some money into it, renting it out, and then they're refinancing with the bank. Throughout the past month and a half since everything started, if you are trying to refinance out with what I would call kind of like a hedge fund, like I don't know, like a big hedge fund lender that's going to put you into like a 20-year fixed rate or something like that. A lot of those people have just gone away. I had a borrower who has 2 multifamilies that he was trying to refinance and had finished up his appraisal and was like a couple weeks away from the refi, and they just said no way. But people who are refinancing with strong local banks who believe in the local real estate investor and understand the burn method and rentals, we haven't been having any problems with our borrowers refinancing. It has been taking them a little longer, especially because the local banks are so involved with all the PPP stuff. So we've heard feedback from borrowers that what used to maybe take 3 to 4 weeks is now kind of pushing to that 45 days. But as long as borrowers are organized with their paperwork, communicating, and maybe doing a couple more check-ins with their banker than normal, they're not having any problems. And if someone's doing a 30-year refi, 30-year fixed refi, more like a mortgage broker, those are for sure taking 45 days. They are definitely starting to take a little longer, but they're still happening. We had 2 rental loans pay off this week, and we actually had 4 rental loans pay off last week, so they're still happening.
So what do you kind of building on the burn method here and landlords? What you see a lot of landlords doing the burn method, and you kind of see if it's working well for them or not. Do you see anything that you can kind of talk about that makes somebody a good landlord and somebody that makes that burn method successful? And what are their traits, or what do they do that makes them successful?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I think of my super solid landlord investors, they all have super strong cash reserves. They're not trying to live off their rental portfolio right now. They're just trying to actively grow, and they're constantly networking with wholesalers to try to find really good deals. They also have a really clear idea in their mind of what an ideal property is. People who are not successful say, oh, we're looking for rentals all over St. Louis. But people who say, we're looking for a house in Pattonville and Hazelwood school districts, we like 3-bed, 2-bath minimum, we like to be within this price range, those are the people who do really well. And then finally, I think the last thing that really makes them stand out and be super successful is when they've figured out how to manage their own portfolio, especially when it's smaller. When you're having like 1 to, I would say 20 rentals, if you have, and it might not be necessarily the borrower, but maybe they have a partner or something that is maybe a little more organized. But if they can manage it in-house and have a really good understanding of how to manage well, those people do awesome.
That's awesome. So what terms can a borrower expect from you? You know, if they're wanting to borrow money from you and do a bird deal or do anything, I guess what kind of terms can they expect?
Yeah, so I did not come from the financial industry. I came from a totally different industry. So when I came over here and helped kind of get this business started 5 years ago, I am a firm believer in simplicity. And a lot of other hard money lenders will tell you, they'll give you a range, like what interest rate you'll pay, what your points are, and that drives me crazy. So we've had the same rate since we started. So it's a 6-month interest-only loan at 12%. And then there's a 3-point origination fee on the back end, a minimum of $1,500 for those smaller loans that are under 50. And then we don't do an appraisal. I actually personally walk through the house with the borrower and just make sure everything makes sense. Because at the end of the day, we're not just a lender, we view ourselves as a partner and really firmly believe in those win-win situations. So we don't want to take back your house. We want you to win and pay us our loan off. And we don't have a prepayment penalty either, because we want people to pay us off quicker so they can get that next deal done.
Nice. So you talk about the next deal, and mainly those are people, you talk about your tribe,
Yep.
people in your tribe, borrowers in your tribe. Tell us about your tribe. How did you build that? And then also, why does it benefit your company to have a tribe of borrowers?
Yeah, so I first heard the word tribe, gosh, probably like what, 3 or 4 years ago at the Dave Ramsey does this entre leadership thing. And there's a guy who wrote a book called Tribes. And it's all about who are your core customers and how does your program benefit them. And so our tribe are made up of local real estate investors who just do repeat business with us. And are super successful, and we've been able to like watch their success grow. I remember one of the first loans I did with a borrower back in 2016, and now he started off as a wholesaler who started rehabbing a little bit, and now has been building up this awesome rental portfolio. And just to see him progress, and I have tons of stories like this. My tribe are the reason I am in this business. I just love getting to know people and hearing what are their goals. Is their goal to, they don't have anything in retirement and they just want to build up a rental portfolio so they have something for retirement. Maybe their goal is, they have a full-time job, they love rehabbing, and they just want to rehab a couple houses a year because it's fun for them. Or they are a contractor, they've always worked for someone else and they're ready to like do their own thing. So I love our tribe. They're just made up of super high quality investors in the area that we just do business with all the time. And we're always looking to grow that too. It's not like I have a set number and those are the only people allowed kind of in my inner circle.
So other people can join your tribe?
Yes.
How does somebody join your tribe?
Yeah, so the first step is the step that everyone has to go through, which is just applying. We pre-approve every borrower because we believe in those win-wins. So we do credit checks, we look at your bank statement, stuff like that, but it's just to make sure that you're gonna do well. And then once you're pre-approved, you let me know when you have a house under contract. I'll walk through it with you. We'll get everything closed with the title company. It's not just me and our team. I've got a rock star team of 3 other people. So we'll get that deal funded for you. You pay us on time. You do really well with the property. Pay us off, and then we just keep doing that over and over and over again. As soon as we keep doing that second, third, fourth deal, you are totally in our tribe at that.
I think that tribe concept it's a concept for running a business and running whatever you want to run. It doesn't necessarily obviously only apply to lending. You can apply to if you're doing flips. You have a tribe of contractors you work with. If you have run a portfolio, just a tribe of people you work with. So that is a great concept. It's a great book to,
Are you in my tribe, Sam?
we'll see. Send an application and I'll review it. But it's just a great concept. It's basically a great job explaining it, but it's just having a core group of people with similar values and beliefs and organizational, and that you want to do business with. So it can apply to any business, it's not just lending, but it's a perfect example.
Yeah, it kind of goes along with that 80-20 rule a little bit to me, a little bit. Maybe your tribe members are 20% of the people, of the people you lend to, but overall they might be doing 80% of the business, something like that. So.
Yep.
There you go. Look at the comment up there. Dustin, you are firmly implanted in the tribe.
Dustin, it is good to be in the tribe, and it's good to have Dustin in the tribe. He's
Yes.
freaking awesome.
Dustin is a rock star.
Right.
And Dustin is a great example of how you can build a tribe too. It's not just for, a bigger business. Dustin has a phenomenal thing going on right now. And he's really created his own tribe. I watched his little Facebook Live video yesterday on his House from Hell update that we are lending on right now.
We should
And
have Dustin in sometime to talk about that. Yeah.
we should talk about grit and perseverance.
Right.
But he did a little shout out again to all of his key contractors who made stuff happen. And that's just a great example of, like what Sam was talking about earlier about contractors who you can create a tribe, and he just treats them super well and keeps them busy on house after house. So they'll push through midnight on him to get a deal
Mhm.
done and listed.
So how has your business changed since this virus thing?
First, the very obvious thing is our team. So we're like upstairs in this nice new space. And, yeah, we really needed to.
Correct.
And so we were all excited. Oh my gosh, it was probably like a week before everything happened. We actually get to move our offices up here, and we were all so excited, and everyone was ready to be in our new office. It's like a lending suite. I'm very excited about it. And anyways, once everything started happening, our team all started working remotely. So I feel like having all four of us kind of spread apart in our homes, that was one of the biggest things that changed first. The second thing that changed is I kind of thought, okay, Brian, you use this phrase, the economy hit a brick wall. It just kind of stopped overnight. So we thought about, in all of us, we're having conversations about what we can do to kind of protect ourselves. And for me, it's also about protecting our borrowers. So we used to lend up to 75% of a reasonable ARV, and we have dropped that down to 70%, just because we want borrowers to be safe. Who knows what's going to happen. And then the other thing is, people would send me a loan request, and I just got that thing scheduled and never asked for pictures or anything like that. And I've been asking for pictures and doing a lot more intentional vetting of a property before I set up the time to go out there and look at it, just because I want to make sure that if I'm going to be looking at it and, being around, people, I just want to make sure the deal is going to make sense before I take time to walk through that property.
Awesome. So, what's the craziest thing that has happened to you or one of your borrowers since you started this business?
Gosh, I always joke that I could probably write a book. Just because we're involved in so many deals. I feel like just because Dustin is on top of mind, he had a crazy situation. I don't know, probably within a month and a half ago, of a house that he closed on. He bought it. Sweet lady who owned the house. It was just her and 2 grandkids in a practically empty house when we walked it, minus the bed in the basement and some signs of probably drug use and various weapons laying around.
Sweet old lady.
Yeah, the lady was super sweet. I was like, I don't know, this is weird. I mean, I'm sure they'll get out, whatever.
So how often do you see drug use or guns or whatever in your houses?
A lot. I used to, I used to go walk houses by myself all the time. I thought it was fine, vacant houses, whatever. And I've ran into my fair share of squatters, and I am not a very intimidating person. I'm pretty short, and
I'm scared of you.
probably not very scary to a squatter. So I actually my borrowers are required now to walk houses with me. But anyways, I do run into that. Yeah, we do see drug use and other things quite frequently. But you know, we saw this. I told Dustin we're going to do the loan. I was excited about it. He was partnering on it with actually another. Dustin said lots of weapons. There were a lot. He actually kind of partnered on it with another borrower of ours who's in our tribe, which I love when that happens. That's been happening a lot recently, which I'm excited about. And anyway, so, you know, I think nothing of it. We get everything processed. We close really quick. Dustin goes over there with our other borrower and his pregnant wife. And they walk in and they can kind of hear stuff. And they're like, what? We thought the house was vacant. You know, we closed on it. And all of a sudden they hear like a lady's voice, and then they hear a man's voice, and the lady kind of rushes upstairs, and Dustin sees a gun on the counter. Anyways, the lady walks up, starts yelling, and then a guy in the basement walks up. So, anyways, it got a little dicey. The police were called. Everyone is safe and fine. But anyways, he had to deal with this basically lady who was now squatting with her crazy, I think it was like ex-husband or something. Anyways, that was a crazy recent story. But the good news is Dustin got the crazies out of the house, got the weapons out of the house, and turned out a beautiful product, and he actually just got paid off for it yesterday. So that's
Dustin has persevered.
persevered a lot.
Yeah. Jenna here said that all that kind of stuff you see with swords and mace with kids lying around, so the stuff you see, you get to see how some people live a little bit different than you think.
Yeah, like when you go through, I don't know, between all of us, we probably see 300, 350 properties plus a year.
Yeah.
And the properties, why we're in the properties in the first place is because there's a situation going on with that seller that's not ideal. So usually we come across things like this, which is just part of the gig, but we try to help them out any way possible and move on and make the house nice again.
Yeah, my least favorites are the animal smells. When you walk through like intense, you know, border houses and stuff. They always have a very distinct smell. I can smell it just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
it's gross. George has a great question up there on his previous verse. He had W-9 income. They could show the bank to do the refi off the hard money loan now. As a real estate investor, he doesn't have the W-9. Any local banks you'd recommend working with?
I think he means W-2 income there, but
Yeah.
It's tough. Like when we left our W-2 jobs, that first year of transition into being a real estate investor they questioned us the most. The banks questioned us the most. So I don't know.
I agree. That first year is the toughest. It just kind of comes down to showing tax returns, you know, and when you become self-employed, make sure that you actually show that you make some income on your tax returns.
Yeah, and it has to do with relationship a lot as well, because that's, I think, a big reason why Luke and I have been able to grow so quickly, so fast, as we had a W-2 job to show with good income. You know, the banks, and you like to see that too. Whoever's lending you money likes to see, you know, steady streams of income, which is a W-2 is viewed as a very steady stream of income, as opposed to being an entrepreneur and just bringing in whatever you can. So I think that's a big part of it is, you know, being able to grow with a job, which is we did at the beginning, but then also building relationships with the bank. The banks we work with are great. We mainly work with American Bank and First State Bank, St. Charles. We also work with First State Community or First State Community Bank. So those are three we all work with, and we really, really like working with them. And they're all about building a relationship and trusting you. And they're willing to do things that, you know, a lot of big banks wouldn't, because they trust you and you have a relationship with them.
Yeah, in my mind, there's a couple of key things that Sam said that I just want to highlight.
I do say a lot of key things.
Why did you want to highlight them?
Probably because I didn't explain them right. But if you're going to explain them right, you're going to try to say it. Go ahead.
Sam and Lucas didn't just like have W-2 jobs and then just quit them and jump into real estate. They had W-2 income and were investing in real estate. So they were showing their banks what they could do. And then when they made that transition, they communicated and then made sure to show money on their tax returns. Brian talked about that. I have so many borrowers who want to like try to write as much stuff off as you can. If your intention is to be bankable, you have to show good income.
Yep.
And you have to do it year over year, because every year the bank is gonna re-look at your stuff. So don't just think, oh, you have a rental this year, you're gonna show good money. Always show good money on your returns if you want to use local banks.
Absolutely. Hey, a shout out to Veronica Short. Thanks for joining us. And James Carlock, would love to have you as part of the tribe. So thanks for joining us today and watching. What else you guys got today?
If you guys have any questions on lending or hard money lending, put them in the chat box. We'll get to them here.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes. We're going to chat. I do want to say that we see a lot of people on Facebook and on YouTube on here. If you're on Facebook and you haven't gone to our YouTube channel and subscribe, please do that. We do this every week. We release 2 other videos every week. So we're out here, multiple times a week. So definitely subscribe and like our content. We would appreciate that. And if you're on YouTube watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We're having a lot of fun and getting a lot of good information every week. So
Yeah. I kind of want to wrap our businesses up into one thing for you guys here. We're kind of like a one-stop shop. So if you're in the St. Louis market and looking for houses, we have houses. If you're looking for financing on your rental properties or rehab properties, we have financing with Suzanne. We also have an in-house brokerage, Magnolia Real Estate, who can help you sell your retail flips. So we kind of have it all here for you guys if you're interested in getting involved in real estate.
Excellent. So when you talked a little bit earlier about what makes a really good borrower for the BRRRR strategy and not necessarily borrower, just investor. What makes a successful investor or landlord in the BRRRR strategy? What do you see that makes a successful rehabber?
Yeah, I think successful rehabbers, I always go back to this, and I feel like I sound like a broken record, so I said it now like 4 times, but good cash reserves. You gotta have cash reserves, even as a rehabber, because hiccups will come up along the way. But I think some of my best rehabbers are people who have good cash reserves or other sources of income to pull, and they want to get in and do some of that work themselves. They're able to, buy a little bit more competitively, but they make up for that with good sweat equity. And they also understand that if they're going to take on a bigger project, they can't do it all themselves. So they have the right connections and people to talk to come in and help get that work done. The rehabbers who I feel like do the best are people who can get in and get out of a house as soon as possible. I think that's key. And they have like a good eye for like design and details, or someone on their team that they can talk to about that. Because those rehabbers who do those little touches, like I know we talked about how Sandra put in like a dog bath in the basement of her Old Town St. Charles house, or
she was just a piggyback off of that. She did a rehab, and it was a house that had an unfinished basement, but she was having a plumber there anyway. So it was like, it only cost her like about an extra $1,000, I think, to put in this dog washing station, which she was able to market really good when she was selling the house. So that's a great example of some things you can do inexpensively that really make a difference.
Yeah, when people just think about like, what's it gonna feel like when a buyer is walking through the house? What are the little things they're gonna notice? What are some things we can do to make it stick out so it's not just another house with white trim, gray walls, and white cabinets? Anything little that you can do that doesn't have to cost a whole lot, but just makes it stand out. Those are the rehabbers who win every time. We have another borrower of ours who she just does, she's got a great eye for design, and she goes on Wayfair and is some kind of like Wayfair specialty member. I don't know, but she gets awesome deals, and she just scours the deals of the day and finds the coolest light fixtures and vanities for her properties. So she gets fantastic deals on them. So it's taken a little bit of her extra time, but those little things just make a lot of difference.
So I got one last question.
sounds good.
All right. So are you seeing most of your rehabbers staging their houses or not staging the houses these days, or a mixture?
I think probably like 65% are staging their properties. I think it's become more of a trend. When we first started, I feel like I saw it every once in a while, but I would say it's gone up quite a bit. I would almost say maybe 75% now stage their houses, especially their nicer houses. They always stand out in, I mean, I don't have firm statistics on this, but I feel like their houses always go first. In that virtual staging, I personally don't care for. But the genuine, real staging, it just always looks so much better. And they do sell so fast. I think I don't know, those little touches like that, they have been helping. I didn't believe in it a few years ago, but I do believe in it now.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today. It was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Coming into the bird's nest.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, it's nice. I gotta think of the name sooner than I thought.
All right, let's wrap this up. You guys got anything to add before we wrap it up?
I do, yeah. Just this whole kind of theme of this talk has been about hard money lending and funding. So I just want everyone to know if they do want to grow aggressively, it's important to have, hard money be a staple of your lending, but have funding sources. You don't want funding to be the reason you can't find a deal. You can do the BRRRR method, you can flip, you can do all that with hard money. With private money, you can do that. We've probably, 40, 45 houses we funded through faster funds. So they're a great way. You can do the BRRRR method with hard money. It's still, their rates are extremely competitive. We like to use private money for a lot of it too. Private money is can be a little less expensive, to actually borrow from. But overall, the terms are great, and you can grow a portfolio, borrowing every single deal from a hard money person for sure. So especially faster funds, they're great to work with.
And I love when people have multiple capital sources. We have several borrowers who have private funds for some of their deals and then use us for some. Some people who always use us for their purchase and then use private funds for the rehab. So I think if you have multiple sources of funds, that just helps you do better in the industry and really, really grow and scale. It doesn't have to be all or nothing for one of those finance options.
For sure.
Agreed.
Awesome. So thanks for joining us, everybody. If you want any more information on any of the things we're doing in our education business, go to fasterfreedom.com. We do hold boot camps and webinars and do coaching. We have coaching programs. So we'd love to have you join if you are interested. And we will be doing this every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So come back next Thursday. You're always, if you have an issue come up through the week and you just want to brainstorm with somebody on it or ask questions, come back to this time next Thursday and share your question. We'd love to brainstorm with you on it. So thanks for joining us. See everybody next week.
Bye for now.
See you guys.